Bienvenidos amigos, welcome friends. I'm Mira, your wellness chef and holistic coach. And this is Mira Cooking with Adobo Zon. And today we are making a delicious picadillo. And I love this recipe because it's so versatile. Picadillo can be used to just as it is, you know, pair it with some mashed potatoes or some rice, or you could use it as the stuffing for your empanadas, for pastelon, and any other recipe that you like. Adobo Zon original, Adobo Zon with Achiote. You could find them at adobozon.com. Now stay tuned and let's make this picadillo. All right, so this is our picadillo recipe. We have some lean ground beef right here, and I'm going to use the Adobo Zon original, the original, and I'm going to season that real good. That's about a pound, so I'm gonna use 1 tablespoon. And then once we cook, we could add a little bit more. Once the beef is kind of cooked and separated, then we could go in. So let me mix that in real good. Picadillo is one of those recipes that's very versatile because you could eat it over rice, or you could use it to stuff yuca or plantains, empanadas. So this is kind of like the basic of the recipe, the basis, and then you can use it to build into other recipes. So at this point, I see that I need a little bit more of the Adobo Zon. I got this bag started, so I'm just gonna go straight from the bag. And then now we can see that the adobo is everywhere. To this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. You want beef to be well seasoned. Now I have my pan here. Add our avocado oil, 1 tablespoon only. And then let's add our beef. Yes, that's the winning sizzle. Continue to break it apart. Picadillo is, you want the beef to be nice and separated. So as we cook, we'll continue to break it apart like this. But I'm gonna let it brown on the bottom. Then we'll continue to move it. This is a great blend for empanadas. Even to make pastelon, you could start your beef like this to make pastelon, which is the yellow plantain pie or lasagna style. You could also make it with potatoes if you use mashed potatoes and then layer the beef. That's another good option. Picadillo in Cuba, they add raisins. I'm not adding raisins to mine. I'm just gonna add potatoes and olives, but no raisins on this one. But traditionally in Cuba, they like to add raisins to it. This is almost all brown. Just a little bit longer. But in the meantime, I'll continue to break it apart so it's nice and loose. You want it to be nice and loose. Now, Adobo Zon smells so good. It's all up in there. We'll taste it, and if need be, we could add a little bit more, but we'll cook it so far like this. Looks good and it smells good. See how it's getting nice and loose? Just gotta keep chopping a little bit more. Okay, now we got those nice clumps right there. Just break them apart. It's pretty loose. Now time for the other ingredients. We're gonna do about 4 to 5 garlic cloves, half of white onion, tablespoon of sofrito, about 1 to 2 sweet peppers, And then let's mix this really nice, making sure that we continue to break apart any clumps. We want it to be very nice and loose. That's what makes the picadillo, picadillo, el picadillo. We're gonna add a handful of olives. I like to keep the olives whole. You could chop them, but I like to keep them whole because if somebody doesn't like olives, it's easier to pick them out than if I chop them all up. So you choose your choice when you make it. If you want to chop them up or slice them, go ahead and do that. This is a blend of Recao, which is culantro, oregano, fresh oregano, and fresh parsley. And I'm gonna do a handful of this too. I got about 2 cups of diced tomatoes. We mix again. You can use tomato paste or tomato sauce, but I like my fire roasted tomatoes. I like the flavor, and these particular ones, they don't have added sugars, which is something I really like. But you could use tomato paste or regular tomato sauce, your choice. Now I'm going to add potatoes, small diced. And I have a half a cup of bone broth, half a cup of water. Now, picadillo, you want it to not be too saucy, so that's enough. I'm gonna taste it to see if I need to adjust the flavors. Bay leaves, 3 of them. Now I'm gonna cover this, let it cook for about 25 minutes until it gets nice and evaporated and it cooks and all those flavors are soaked into the potatoes and the beef. All right, let's check on our picadillo. Let's see how it's doing. It smells amazing. That's the combination of the oregano, parsley, garlic, onion. And as you can see, this is ready. If you were to use this for empanadas, just cook it uncovered for another 5 minutes so more of the juice evaporates. But look, the potatoes are ready. This is your picadillo, my version of picadillo at least. So I hope you try this recipe and enjoy it. Remember, we used Adobo Zon original and all of our fresh ingredients with it. So now let's see how we can plate this right here. And that's our picadillo. Okay, my friends, the picadillo is ready. This has the potatoes, look, it's steaming, the olives, some of those fresh recao, which is coriander, and oregano, parsley, perejil, and we used our original Adobo Zon to give it all the flavors, todo el sabor en un paso, one step with Abuela's Acento. If you want to learn more about Adobo Zon and more recipes, go to adobozon.com. Thank you for joining us.